Malaysiakini and Kindi recently published the May 13 Never Again series of special reports to mark the 50th anniversary of the May 13th riots. Today we sit with Adila Razak, the lead project coordinator for the special report. So tell us a bit about your thought process of creating this report.
Well, we started the process of actually gathering information for the report. We started work late March, in fact, which is quite late, literally because a colleague was passing by my table and asked if we were doing anything for the May 13th anniversary, for the 50th anniversary. And at that time, some of our teammates had seen a website that was done by Washington Post for another riot in Washington. And we thought, well, at this juncture, we have some information that we could put together to do something like this. And then after that, it was a process of kind of recruiting people to get onto the team and then starting the research and then putting it together.
Let's talk about the scope of the project. Did you know how big it was going to be early on?
No, to be honest, like we really thought we'll just do a microsite. We had gathered maybe about half a dozen texts that we would refer to, mostly historical texts, and we would take down the events of that day, and then that would be it. But as we interviewed more and more eyewitnesses, it felt as if it would be irresponsible not to publish those stories as well, especially since, and I think I probably mentioned this earlier to other people as well, that the fact that most of these eyewitnesses are in their 70s, and we know that Malaysia's life expectancy is 75. So as an editor at that time, I just felt that if we don't record this and we don't publish this, these stories might be lost forever. Yeah. So it just became bigger and bigger.
So how did you manage to recreate or retell a story that happened 50 years ago? Maybe talk about the methods of how you compiled.
Yeah, central to the piece, our special page is the movement of the riot. So we wanted to show what happened on May 13. And to do that, we referred to about half a dozen texts, historical texts. So these are like textbooks or academic studies, books written by politicians at the time, on even as recent as 2011, if I'm not mistaken, the last book written by a politician, and newspapers published then and also subsequently. So we had a fair bit of material to actually put together the events blow by blow. We came out with about 109 events, but that would be too much to put on the page. Yeah. So we distilled it to about 18 events, which we thought were key events of the day.
So since the story has been published, a lot of people have taken it to complement the story, but also a lot of criticism and a lot of negative comments. So could you talk a bit about that?
I suppose when we started it, we expected it to be a really sensitive topic and to tread very carefully. So we did mitigate for lots of things. We wanted it to be balanced. So we had a multi-ethnic team. All our witnesses were also from gave different perspectives. So we really tried very hard to be balanced. We looked at all the words as well to make sure that everything was not loaded, I suppose. But the event itself is a very sensitive and difficult thing to talk about. People basically killing each other. So I think in a way we expected the backlash. It's just that I kind of hoped that it would not have descended to it's kind of war of words again.
And some of the members of the team have also been sort of targeted after the report. So how is Malaysiakini dealing with that? I think as Malaysiakini journalists, we are kind of, I can't say used to it, but because it's especially bad this time, but we do expect some sort of backlash. Some of our colleagues have lodged police reports, and we just continue to just deal with it. But it has been subsiding. It was not as bad as the first day, so I think it'll be all right. So apart from the existing reports, you're also collecting stories from our readers.
Right.
So talk us through that.
Yep, so the same reasoning as before, the fact that these witnesses are advancing in age, and we want to collect the stories. And also because May 13 is not just a story that should be told through historical documents. It's a story that all of us actually have. Even though we were not there, we will pass information from our parents, our grandparents. So we wanted it to be captured in something like something for posterity. And also it was an idea from our web designer actually, because he felt that the story is quite difficult to read. At the end of it, people needed some sort of release. And especially since we did not allow any comments because we were afraid of inflammatory comments, so we needed to give people an avenue to tell their stories, basically.
Okay, before you go, for those who haven't read the whole piece, what do you have to say to them?
That they should. That it's a really important piece. I know it's like I'm talking about my own work, but I've been in the industry for about 10 years, and I feel that this was probably the most important project that I've worked on. That we are trying to tell a story about something that completely changed Malaysia in a way that has never been done before.
Okay. Adila, thank you for your time.
Thanks.